Mabuhay Pilipinas! Si Pia Wurtzbach po ito, and I'd like to welcome you all to our first episode of Holding Space, Voices of Hope. Ang programang ito ay handog sa atin ng volunteers ng Flourish by Love Yourself at in partnership with Mental Health PH. Holding Space, Voices of Hope is a program where we give a face to different issues affecting people's mental wellness while also encouraging everyone to reach out to the people that they trust for support. Ang bawat episode ng Holding Space ay magbibigay ng storya ng inspirasyon. Ito ay magpapatotoo na may mga taong handang tumulong at magbigay ng suporta sa atin physically, mentally, and emotionally para malampasan ang mga pinagdadaanan natin sa buhay. For our first episode, we will talk about something close to my heart. It's an advocacy not only for Miss Universe but for a lifetime. As a UNAIDS Goodwill Ambassador and also with the help of my Love Yourself family, I am inclined to do more for the HIV advocacy. HIV remains to be one of the public health concerns in our country, in which approximately 80,000 Filipinos are living with HIV. The Philippines also has the fastest number of infection rates in the Asia-Pacific region, having 31 diagnoses a day. But more than the virus, some people living with HIV are also fighting against invisible enemies such as anxiety and depression. Some of these are caused by stigma and discrimination or other environmental factors present in their surroundings. And it can also be aggravated by the side effects of antiretroviral therapies. So sharing his experiences on overcoming these hurdles is one of Love Yourself's HIV counselor, Papa Cheng. Hello, Papa Cheng.
Hello,
Kumusta?
Pia.
Kumusta?
Mabuti naman, Pia.
Mag-hello ka sa mga viewers natin.
Sa ating mga manonood ng Holding Space, ako si Papa Cheng, 39 years old, volunteer, advocate, at isang HIV counselor, at consistent na 4 years undetectable.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yes.
Kumusta ka muna, Papa Cheng? Kumusta ka nitong pandemic?
Itong pandemic, mahirap but still surviving. Tuloy lang ang buhay pa rin naman.
Okay, could you tell us more about your journey? Pwede mo bang i-share sa amin yung mga experiences mo?
Nagsimula yung aking journey was May 28, 2017 when I was diagnosed with HIV. I was reactive in a mass testing event which happened in Malate. So, somewhere during the first 6 months of my diagnosis, doon ako naka-experience ng anxiety towards depression, actually clinically. And doon ako naka-experience ng alopecia, to which I didn't know magkakaroon pala ng impact sa akin as a person na magde-develop ng anxiety, yung mga sleepless nights and mag-weight loss. Bumalik ako sa doctor natin sa treatment hub, but sabi nga nung doctor natin, hair loss is just a normal side effect. But for me, parang sa akin hindi siya normal. Kasi unang-una, nagsabi ako sa parents ko na and sa family ko na I was taken care of the best doctors in the Philippines. And parang reverse yun nangyayari. Kasi nagkakaroon ako ng physical deterioration every day I look into the mirror.
Yeah. Papa Chen, I'm just curious, was it easier for you to talk about your HIV status than the cause of your anxiety and depression, which was the alopecia?
Actually, way back then, it was difficult for me to talk about my HIV thing. So, if people would come to me, oh, what's happening to your hair? I would just simply say or make an excuse that, oh, I'm taking oral chemo for my throat. That's just a lame excuse. So that there will be no more follow-up questions because I'm not yet ready way back then to disclose that I am taking ARV and this is the side effect and this is how does a person living with HIV looks like.
Of course, we also don't want people to think that the ARV causes hair loss to everyone. We want to make it clear that this is a side effect. This doesn't happen to everybody. It's normal when you suddenly switch medications for your body to sort of adjust. And of course, it needs time. So I don't want people to think na, ay, hindi na lang ako mag-ARV kasi baka mangyari sa akin yan. I want to make it clear, guys, that you know, it's sometimes anxiety and depression, kung ano pang yung cause niyan, can cause alopecia. And then, baka lalo pang mag-trigger yung anxiety and depression mo because of that. And sometimes it's this like, it's like this ball na parang the cause and the effect are paikot-ikot lang, parang
Correct.
ganun.
So when we talk about the side effects that our people living with HIV experience when they take their medications, it would actually depend kung anong ARV yung iniinom nila. But actually common across all of these ARV is actually what we call nausea and vomiting or pagsusuka or pagduduwal. Common din sa mga gamot yung tinatawag na gastrointestinal upset wherein kapag ininom mo yung gamot, pwedeng suka, pwedeng magduwal, pwedeng mangasing. So yun yung mga common side effects across all of the antiretroviral therapy. Pero yung mga specific na side effect would definitely depend on kung ano pa yung other components ng gamot. Most of our patients living with HIV actually take the component which is called efavirenz. So this is the third component of their medication. And this actually has a lot of neuropsychiatric side effects or mga side effect na related sa brain or sa mental health. Although these are rare, so not really rare, but uncommon. So for example, around 15 to 20% of our patients could actually experience yung mga ganong side effects. Hindi naman nangyayari sa lahat ng tao, pero it can happen. It can definitely affect their mental health. While there are challenges na pwede makapag-stop sa atin ng ART, including yung side effects, we always have to remember our motivation why we actually take the antiretroviral therapy. So as a clinician and as your partner in your treatment, meron actually dalawang targets that we want to achieve when we take antiretroviral therapy. First is to achieve yung mataas na CD4 count. So yung CD4 count mo, aakyat eventually, hindi ka na mag-AIDS. Hindi ka na makakuha ng mga opportunistic infection. Pangalawa, yung antiretroviral therapy decreases the HIV in your body to the point na ma-achieve mo na yung what we call the undetectable state. Hindi mo matatransfer yung HIV. So, sa tinatawag natin U equals U, sabihin, mababa na yung risk mo of transferring HIV to your sexual partner. So these two motivations actually lead to a better quality of life. And that is what we actually want to achieve, and that is what we actually deserve, right? So if you have any problems in taking your medications, for example, nagkakaroon kayo ng issues with the side effects, please let us know. Please let your providers know because we can help you determine the best regimen for you. Kung mas onti yung side effect, mas iinom nyo siya, the better para sa ating adherence.
And then, a friend of mine ping me all of a sudden, randomly. So sabi niya parang, nagtanong lang siya. Sabi niya, kamusta ka? Bakit parang nakikita kita laging active pag gabi at ganitong oras?
Online ka?
Online ako, yes. Sa Messenger, yung green na status. So sa kanya ako nag-open up until sinuggest niya nga na, oh boy, I think you would really need help, professional help. It's best for you to consult a psychiatrist. I took that advice and dialed the nearest clinic na meron malapit on my workplace. And then, ang una kong tanong sa psychiatrist, will you be able to help me? At ang sinagot naman ng psychiatrist sa akin is a resounding and reassuring yes. Pero may kondisyon, sabi niya, but you would really have to be very honest with the assessment that I will give you para ma-diagnose natin ng maayos kung ano ba yung problema mo. Ang nangyari is more on talk therapy and decompression sessions. So from the first assessment na 20 questionnaire na may multiple choices, so doon nalaman, sabi niya, oh, you know what your score is? Ang sabi niya sa akin, you are having anxieties bordering to depression. Until the counseling session na pinpoint na nga namin, it was that hair loss, yun nagkukos nung aking anxieties. Doon niya sinabi na, I think ang kailangan mo na ngayon is a dermatologist para matulungan ka with your hair loss. I tried to book an appointment to the dermatologist. So yun na nga, binigyan naman ako ng hair grower pill na after 3 weeks, ayan, tumubo yung mga baby hair. So eto yung hair po na cause ng anxiety ko before. Ngayon, ang haba-haba na niya. Yun na nga, kailangan kong i-isolate muna for the time being yung sarili ko. And ayoko din ipakita na dahil nag-i-ART ako and nalulugas yung hair ko, pumapayat ako physically at nagde-deteriorate ako. Gusto ko ipakita, pag bumalik ako sa kanila, ito yung anak namin na dating ano pa rin, is on the peak state of his health.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure so many people can relate to that na you don't want your family, you don't want to see them sad or you don't want to put them down. So gusto mo pakita na strong ka. Kanino ka kumuha ng lakas? Since you didn't want to show weakness to your family, who was your support system? Was it your friends? Did you have a partner at that time? Like, who was your rock?
To people who experience anxieties, hindi mo lang naman sasabihin, mag-pray ka.
No.
Because sabi nga, there is a saying, di ba, in the Bible, nasa Diyos ang awa, pero nasa tao ang gawa. So if you didn't get that help, that much needed help that you need, so baliwala din naman mangyayari sa prayers mo. And about the rock, it's really in the genuine love and support of the people that truly matters. Friends are also our family. They are also our chosen family. So from their genuine love, support, and care, doon ako gumuhugot ng lakas. And of course, with faith in God as well.
Now we know that having a strong support system like your family and your friends, those are really important. Pero meron din tayong mga struggles na pinagdadaanan along the way towards looking for help or towards our healing process. What were your struggles naman?
Ang struggle for me is the process. Because sabi nga nung psychiatrist, masyado kong mabilis na inaccept yung. Kasi nga, when I was diagnosed, ang tanong ko agad kay life coach, kailan yung treatment magsisimula? Because I know there is really the hope of treatment. However, wala akong grieving stage. So yun yung medyo in-skip ko for that time. So that's why when you tried to bury it, nung nag-resurface, dun siya bumongga.
So Papa Cheng, you mentioned that you skipped the grieving part. Now, a lot of people think na, kasi pagka skinik mo yung part na yun, isipin ng mga tao, oh, you're so strong. You didn't cry or you didn't grieve. Pero it resurfaces pala and it comes back. And you really have to face it. And that's something that you had to go through. Was it harder?
Yes, it was really harder during that time because there are moments that you have to cry because you just feel like crying. You would really cry at night. And to a point that I am so afraid of what I can do, that I am trying to hold everything in place.
Yeah.
Because there are moments that I would really want to throw myself up to the balcony of the condominium to which I am staying. If it'll happen, my God, I don't know. So, yung process na yun, I would really have balikan. Kailangan ko siyang iyakan siya ulit. And I would really have to deal with it.
So, a few things you were carrying at the same time.
Yes.
First of all, living with HIV, and then the hair loss,
Yes.
and then the diagnosis of anxiety borderlining to depression.
Yes.
Was it hard for you to disclose all of this to your family?
Actually, the anxiety, I haven't disclosed it to them.
Oh, okay.
But the HIV is the one that I have disclosed it early.
Yes. Okay.
In
okay.
fact, I sent them to a hotel for their advanced anniversary gift because it's October. So, pinag-overnight ko lang sila para, para relax lang sila. And then the next day during breakfast, I showed them the bottle of my ARB and then my mom couldn't read it because ang liit nung mga letterings dun sa bottle. So sabi niya, ano ba to? So ano ba yung sakit mo? So sabi ko, I was diagnosed with HIV. So very, kasi we're eating in a hotel's buffet breakfast. So my mom cried. Wala naman masyadong salitaan na nangyari. Until my dad hugged her and sabi, tama na yan. Tapos, niyakap lang nila ako. And it's like a reset button because for the longest time, hindi kami ganun ka-close ng dad ko because of my gender preference, probably. And it's like a reset button. And when things are getting, for me, becomes like a reset button, beginning or starting again, that's the time naman this anxiety hits because of that hair loss.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
I can only imagine what it was like for you, trying to keep it together, to stay strong, but then having to keep that strength and not show your parents that you were going through something. What were the lessons naman that you learned along the way? Okay, looking back now, ano yung mga pwede sanang nabago to make your healing easier or faster? Parang, what struggles would you have wanted to change?
It could have been better if there are some programs like Flourish Circle because I would really have to sign up for Flourish easily. It's just a click away from our Love Yourself website.
Yeah.
So, mas magiging madali. Kasi mas madaling kumuha ng tulong or pwede kang pagsabihan. Looking back at those journey, I feel like I'm just blessed with the love and the genuine care of friends and the support system. And also our life coach. Love yourself as well.
Of course.
As my treatment hub.
Yeah.
It is important na malaman natin na ang HIV, kailangan niya ng both biomedical at psychosocial interventions. Ibig sabihin, yung biomedical yan yung mag-iintindi doon sa kanyang kalusugan, pero yung psychosocial interventions, yan yung susuporta sa isang tao para mas mainom niya yung gamot, para ma-ensure na siya ay healthy, para mag-respond siya ng mas mabuti doon sa mga biomedical interventions na binibigay sa isang taong may HIV. Kaya sa amin, sa Love Yourself, ang ginagawa namin, meron kami mga programs that enables them to have their psychosocial interventions. Like for example, kapag isang tao may HIV, automatic nire-refer namin sila sa mga life coaches namin para makapag-facilitate ng mga conversations, interpersonal goals, para masuportahan yung kanilang treatment and adherence. At meron din kaming mga services katulad ng Flourish by Love Yourself kung saan ito yung mga mental health interventions para sa mga nangailangan, specifically PLHIVs. Ito yung way para makapaglabas sila ng kanilang mga emotions, ng kanilang mga struggles, a healthy way for them to share what they feel para they will be able to release it in a way na it's safe for them, and that can ultimately support yung pagiging adherent nila sa kanilang medication, pag-ensure na they live a normal healthy life. It's very important din na sa isang psychosocial intervention na kailangan din ng yung support partner or treatment journey partner. Ito yung mga tao na susuporta sa'yo along the way sa iyong journey towards treatment. So dito papasok ang support ng pamilya or ng iyong mga friends or kung sino man yung taong pinagkakatiwalaan mo towards your biomedical journey. Kasi hindi siya madali. Itong biomedical journey na to, sometimes it can take a toll on someone. Kaya kailangan nila ng isang tao na susuporta sa kanilang sa kanilang journey na to.
So, let's talk about, you now, you've overcome this and you're now here sharing your story with everyone. What would your advice be to anybody out there who's going through living with HIV but also going through some anxiety and depression, whatever the cause may be?
It is never wrong to ask for help. Sometimes kung hindi mo kayang tumakbo to get that help, pwede kang lumakad. Kung hindi mo kayang lumakad, pwede kang gumapang. At kung hindi ka makagapang, pwede kang sumigaw. Everything now is just one click away. We have Flourish Circle on our website. National Center for Mental Health has a crisis hotline. And there are also non-government organizations just like the Natasha Goldburn Foundation, Hopeline, which they can dial. Everything is Googleable nowadays. So that is the convenience of our era now.
Magiging Tito Boy tayo ngayon.
Sige.
If you could talk to your younger self again, what would you try to tell the young Papa Cheng?
Okay, facing the mirror, the magical mirror.
Magical mirror.
Of
What
Tito
would you?
Boy.
Yes.
Yes. You should not skip the process because that's what I tried to do, to make things everything at the surface. But trying to fake everything from the surface would not fix the internal problem. There are no cutting corners when it comes to healing. Healing takes time. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. And in life, we are all survivors.
Of course. And thank you for being so generous with your story and sharing it with everyone. And I hope anybody watching this right now who can relate won't be shy to, seek help and to talk about how they're feeling, because for sure you're not alone and there's somebody out there who's ready and willing to help you. Thank you for sharing your story with us, Papa.
Maraming salamat, Pia, and God bless.
Thank you. Una pa lang ang kwento ni Papa Chen sa mga i-feature pa nating mga stories tungkol sa mental health. Mga storyang mabibigyan natin ng mukha at pwedeng kapulutan ng aral. And we would like to thank Flourish by Love Yourself and Mental Health PH for making this episode possible. And thank you to our production house, the All Right Studios, for the artistry of our series of documentaries. Muli, ito si Pia Wurtzbach, and we will be right here in Holding Space to let you hear the voices of hope. We'll see you again in our next episode. Mwah!